The floor is yours, Professor.
Okay, thank you all. Once again, good day all. And it's nice for us to discuss together something so special, something so important to us all. There is no day that one day we think about food. So food is so essential to our livelihood, and it's something that unites us all. And today we'll be looking at preventing foodborne diseases through social science innovation, which is very, very important. And it will be also very key for us to break these things down and look at how social science can also help on this discourse of food safety. And the first thing I want us to check together is the issue of foodborne diseases. What are actually foodborne diseases, and what are the things that we should look at when we're talking about foodborne diseases? And firstly, I will make it more of interactive, so I will be asking some questions too, so we can drop it on the chat box, answers, or raise up your hand so that we can call you on. So I know foodborne diseases is something that we are all used to. We've heard about people who just consumed food and is down with one illness or the other. So foodborne diseases are illness caused by consuming contaminated foods or beverages. So there are different types of contaminations. With box contamination to only biological. So in case you know any other contamination aside biological contamination, there might be the parasite, the virus, or the bacteria. Which other contaminants do we have that can cause illness in food? So as I said earlier on, we're going to make it interactive. So are you on this call? You can drop your chat on the chat box. What do you think can also be a contaminant to food?
Please, who would like to share any example of any biological contaminant which may cause foodborne illnesses? For example, salmonella or Escherichia coli. Who would like to share further?
Okay,
Yes, and maybe
okay.
some
So
parasites.
that's okay. So like the issue of the when we talked about biological, so that's under that we have the issue of the bacteria, and the bacteria we have the issue of the salmonella, we have the issue of the E. coli, and this happens most of the time from handling, how it's being handled, so we can mistakenly also contaminate food with issue of E. coli, salmonella. We also have Shigella. So these are strong points, biological, so that can contaminate foods. And we also have the other silent ones, like chemicals contaminations, contaminants, where we have contaminants like pesticides. We also have contaminants like toxins. And one silent contaminant that is really affecting food safety is issue of toxins. Mycotoxins are really doing lots of havoc, both to animal health and also to human health. So it's something that really requires great attention. Welcome, Dr. Akanbi. Dr. Akanbi, you are welcome, man. You're welcome. So it's something that is really affecting food safety and is also a source of foodborne diseases. We also have the issue of physical contaminants like nails, sharp objects can also form a source of contaminants to food. It's really, and foodborne diseases are of a significant global issue. It's just not tweeted to only one place, but all, and also brings about economic costs, because when people are affected, it brings about health costs. They need to spend money to treat themselves. a loss of productivity. They might not be active to do their work. So it brings about economic loss. And also it impacts all, not just only maybe a particular demography. It affects both the old, the young, and these also have issues that can bring about long-term health complications, like issue of mycotoxins, if not well taken care, can lead to issue of neoplastic issues, can lead to cancer and the like. So these are actually critical things that we need to look at. So now when we are talking about, I broke it down to say we have the microbes, we have the chemicals, and we have the physical. So now when we're not looking at this, looking at the global issues, then we need to look beyond the microbes. We need to look beyond. Yes, we have the microbes. The microbes cannot contaminate the food by themselves alone. So there is an element that brings about this contaminant, and that is the human element. And that is why we are now looking at how social innovations can help. How can this human element can really be that is of a great concern, can actually work in this. Why microbes are very crucial, our behaviors as humans and also our perception play critical roles in foodborne disease transmission. And that is now where we will now be talking about. Someone just posted poor food handling. Yes, this also falls upon under how we handled uh, um, these foods. And let me quickly state this. When it comes to food safety, when it comes to foodborne diseases, preventing it is something that is very important that we need to note. That it's not just at the end. Most of the times we pay attention to the end handling of the end user, but it should start from the farm. It should start from production. So food safety starts from the point of production. And as we are saying that we should look beyond the issue of the microbes, we should now look at the interplay of humans in transmission of these foodborne diseases. So why do people behave the way they behave? What do they need to do concerning issue of food safety? What do they need to do concerning issue of food safety? So one thing is very important. One thing is very important when it comes to social behavior. We need to look at the social behavior and cultural practices around our area. So now for social innovation, we need to first come to the point of understanding that for food safety, it's all in our hands. It's in the hands of the producer, in the hands of the processor, the retailers, and the end use user. So what are the innovations that we can now bring when it comes to social science innovation that we can bring into this? The first thing is to know that for food safety to happen, there is a need for cultural changes. Cultural changes, how do we handle? It's not just enough to say, oh, wash your hand before you eat, or there are some things you need to eat this food very well. But first thing we need to know is that we need to focus on what triggers changes. We need to look at where are people getting their information from. I will just make a little joke. It might sound like a joke, but it's the reality of things in some part of the world. Some part of the world believes that you can actually consume a lungs that contains TB, tubercle TB infected lungs, that you can consume it once you can once you can eat it, cook it very well, you can consume it, doesn't do anything. Over time, then they are now infected with this same TB. So it's very important to know that there are some cultural beliefs that some set of people have, and so there is a need for people that are of social science, that understand psychology, to work with the psyche of these people. There are different classes of people, and we will not all think the same way. So there is a need to understand, the issue of the psychology around these people. How do these people think? And to now start using things that can model to help them to see how they should behave around their approaches towards food. So the first thing is understanding that food safety is from the farm to fork. And that means that it is responsibility of everyone. So for every one of us that we are here, is our responsibility. It's also the responsibility of us involving other social scientists to know that, oh, let's communicate, because how we communicate the issues to them, because there are some set of people, the way they can assimilate technical issues is so minimal. But with the help of social scientists that can understand, that can be able to see how this set of people reason, can develop model of information in disseminations to them, to tailor it towards them, to let them understand that, oh, this is how to go about this. There are some languages that some people were able to understand. And like currently in Nigeria, there is a model that is being used in communicating some of these issues. We have champions being selected amidst them. Like now, amidst the butcher, they have a champion to champion food safety amidst the butcher. So this one is like a respected person amidst the butcher that they all rally around and respect. So this can now pass the message of, oh, don't do this. This is the best way to go about this. Now, let's quickly look at something very, very important. How do we now change people, and what are the innovations that we can bring into play? So, number one, first thing is to turn learning for them into something interactive. We should not make it like, oh, if you don't do this, you are a bad person. No, because this needs is a cultural change, and culture have been a norm that they have already been practicing before, that they are used to. So it takes us to make it a point, making learning new things fun for them, and also going as low as to their level. Let's say now we have people that market people that don't really understood what is really happening about how they handle some of these issues, is to go to learn their own language and speak to them, to be able to relate with them in their own level, go low to their standard, to be able to pass the message across. And I will be trying to dwell more on the issue of toxins, because we can try as much as possible to pay attention to, oh, let's wash our hands, the hygiene, try to publicize that, and station watch and station across the processing unit and everything. But as I've said earlier on, it starts from extension services to the farm, letting the farm workers know the implication of what they are producing to the society, and also letting the middlemen also to understand that what they are doing, the way they transport and make and do some of these things, have a global impact, not just in the point of where it's being produced, but this can go around and affect the world. Issue of toxin is a global issue that we are all battling with, mycotoxins, and it has to do with also with issue of storage and how we transport this. So there are times also, just as I've said, issue of economic benefits to really affect some after the production, and they see that some of their produce are not too good, they still want to sell it. But letting them to understand the economics of some of these things, not just about their own economics, but how it affects the global society, it will also be. So social innovation, social science innovation is very critical, because beyond the technicals, we need someone that can relate with people from the level where they are to the level we want them to be. Food safety is not the issue of one man, it's not the issue of one profession. It's an issue of all, and it requires joint effort of everyone, most especially the social scientists that understood social behavior and how they can tame this global threat that is affecting us all. Let me pause here so that I can give chance to Dr. Akanbi to take over. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Professor, for your awesome and informative presentation. Just a moment, let me stop recording so we can open the floor